How does a computer work? A computer processes data and instructions through its hardware components, using electrical signals and binary code to perform calculations, store and retrieve information, and communicate with other devices. But think about it. Isn't a computer's inner workings kind of like the workings of our own mind? We also process information, store memories, and communicate with others. We are just machines. Whatever technological advancement we have, that's what we compare as the model our brain and thinking with. What is the web? It's a thing that works through a client-server model, like a restaurant. There's clients who want food, and the servers give you food, but instead of food is packets of information. Through a web browser, which is your window, through HTTP protocol, which is how they direct traffic. With HTTP, it's a protocol. There's rules and regulations on how the data is retrieved, where it goes, and how. Packets that you receive through this window, the browser, is what renders the web page. Thanks to HTML, which is what's in it, CSS, which is how it's stylized, and JavaScript, which is how it functions. And that's the web. Use it wisely. What is data representation? Data representation refers to the process of converting data from its original form into a format that can be easily processed by a computer, like speaking a language that computers can understand. But what if we humans spoke a different language, one that we can't understand ourselves? I speak Italian. If I started speaking Italian now, if you don't speak Italian, are we just data waiting to be interpreted by machines? Or is there something more to us than just the ones and zeros? Is it discrete? Or is it continuous, how we perceive existence? Ponder on the meaning of it over a cup of coffee and a slice of existential dread. What is computer architecture? It's how you design the system, which has at the core a CPU. It's the processing unit that does the arithmetic and loads from registers, which are where they keep little packets of data that they get from the RAM. And there's a hierarchy of memory, of input and output mechanisms and other components. And it's like a blueprint of a digital city. And what happens when the city gets too big, when we have more data and devices that we know what to do with? Can we build a sustainable digital ecosystem, or is it going to be like the cities, the physical cities, that before we have to first mess it up and then we go like, oh, we should have done it? Are we destined to drown in a sea of bits and bytes? You know, in the 80s everybody was eating everything, and then in the 90s and then some people started going like, yeah, maybe it's not good to eat everything all the time, you get diabetes. We were going through that with information. I think now we gotta be healthy about it to build a better world. You need bytes, but where and how? Information is something that gets in you, just like food. So isn't there like a diet for that too? Like a better usage? What is an operating system? It manages the hardware and software resources provided, common services of the computer programs, enables users to interact with the computer through a graphical user interface, which is the GUI, which is what everybody uses, or a command line interface, which is what I try to use. It's the thing that you see in the Matrix, all the matrix symbols that go down. Every time a hacker uses that. It's more powerful, but I lost all my files, so it's not for everybody. But if you're good, then it's more powerful. You can direct more files, change the names of more, you can interact with the architectures directly. It's a more direct way to speak to the machine. We're becoming too dependent on technology to the point where we forget how to be human. Put down your screens. Go for a walk in the park with no headphones, which are also part of a network. We're going to talk about networks next. What is a network? A network is a group of interconnected devices that exchange information and resources. So it's like a digital village where we can collaborate and learn from one another. There's personal network. You got the little headphones, we got the phone, you got another tablet, you got a computer. That's a personal network. Then there's the local area network, like your university or your office. And then there is the wide area network, like when I'm speaking with people in Italy, or you're speaking with people in Canterbury. Is that a place? Can we just trust networks? The more connected we are, the more security is important. So it's less secure now because everything is more available. Can we be hacked? Can we be scammed? The digital age brings us closer together, but it also exposes us to these risks and challenges. Everybody together, if they take a little responsibility and they learn a little bit, they can make a more inclusive, safer community. You don't want to learn, then governments go like, oh, okay, we'll do it for you. Where if you go like, no, I got my responsibility, then I can learn. Machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that involves training algorithms to recognize patterns in data, make predictions or decisions without being explicitly programmed to do so. So you're teaching a machine, but you're not telling it what to do. You're telling them, figure out how to do this, figure out what I want. You just tell it an output that you want, and the input is data. And you go like, figure it out. So they can figure out how to learn. It's similar to learning because you see the system improve over time. So, and what if they surpass our intelligence, our autonomy, and we create a new form of life? The line between man and machine is blurred. I'm using a machine now. I'm a half man, half machine now. You're just seeing me in digital form. So let's make sure we're on the other side of history. Oh, I don't know. Let's use it for the betterment of all. How do we do that? I don't know. I'm just here to offer questions, provide a little philosophy into the technical stuff. Cybersecurity. So you gotta protect your computer. Your computer systems are vulnerable. Networks are exposed to digital attacks, to unauthorized access. So you gotta put a lock, right? But if the lock is not enough, then the hackers get better, or they build better malware, and they're very sophisticated. They need to be stopped. One thing that's good for against malware is having open source software. Being very open. More often than not, the people that protect you are better than the people trying to hurt you. Not always. Tends to be the case. Don't give up on security, but you have to innovate and evolve. There's new things happening now in blockchain that tends to be secure, but sometimes when it's not, then the price goes down, you know. Can you build a digital fortress that withstands any attacks and also be free to explore the web? Quantum computing is a type of computing that uses quantum bits, qubits, to perform calculations that are impossible with classical computers. It's like stepping into a parallel universe, and the laws of physics are different. Or they're not different, they're just like, yeah, I guess they're different, that at the micro level they're different. But what happens when we can no longer tell the difference between real and virtual? When we enter a world where anything is possible? Are we still in control? Or we have created a new monster? The future of quantum computing is full of possibility and unknowns. I'll be the first one to tell you about it as soon as I know a little bit more about it. Artificial intelligence, AI. It's a field of computer science that deals with the development of intelligent machine that can perform tasks that typically required human intelligence. It's like creating a digital version of ourselves, complete with our flaws and strengths. But what happens when the machines start to develop their own consciousness and autonomy? Will they rebel? I don't know. It's exciting and terrifying. Will it just benefit a privileged few or all of humanity? You know, we've been through this before in the agrarian era, where we used to like just do this with something on the ground for some reason to farm, and we worked 8 hours, and then somebody invented a tractor and we still worked 8 hours to get more. But like, if this is the same thing but for the mind, are we still gonna work 8-9 hours? Are we still gonna work like 50 hours a week, 40 to 55 hours a week with AI, just to see what we can accomplish? I don't know, man. When are we gonna just chill?